Welcome to Medical Money, the podcast where we help healthcare professionals like you learn finance and build wealth. My name is Kirk Roberts. I am an emergency room nurse, a financial educator, and a licensed financial representative.
And I'm Ben Chandia, a firefighter, advanced EMT, and also a licensed professional. And guys, this is crazy. Look where we're at. We're in Nepal. Kirk, how did we get here?
Top of the world. We are here with a humanitarian group called YouthLink, and they are humanitarians that travel the world. This company actually helps high school students and also college students get out to the world and do humanitarian work, not volunteerism, humanity work where they make an impact.
There's a very big difference, right? A lot of people, we want to go and everyone wants to travel, right? Everyone wants to see the world, and we have a beautiful world, right? An amazing world that a lot of times we take for granted. And I think a lot of times we get into healthcare because we want to help people out in remote areas like this. And it's been such a unique experience to be able to come out here and give to those who are really don't have anything.
Well, and you think about it too. I mean, this is my third trip. I was in Thailand before. I did a trip in Peru in the Amazon jungle, and then now in Nepal. This is my why. Ben and I were talking. It's like, even if I had all the money in the world, I would do this every single year. So really, once again, it comes back to that when we were talking earlier about financial objectives, knowing your why, and building your blueprint. What is it really that you, as a healthcare professional, got into healthcare? I mean, is it to save people? Is it adrenaline junkie like the medics and EMTs and whatnot?
That's me.
It could be that, but really, when you dig down, when people say, "Well, what's your why?" Is it really just helping people? Is that really your why? Would you do this if you had all the money in the world? Would you be in the emergency room? Would you be on the rig? That's what we want to know. So really, today we want to talk about something that we think is really important, which is philanthropy. And also being in charitable donations.
One thing that that's kind of been reflecting on throughout this whole trip is, when we first came here, I mean, let's be real. Medical, it's not easy, right? It's hard. We see crap every day. We see the worst of people. We see people on their worst days every day, and it adds up. Then burnout's a real thing. PTSD's a real thing. And a lot of times you start to lose that sight of the good in humanity. We start to become more bitter and sour, and then we take that home, right? And what's our divorce rate like? What do our finances look like? We start taking all those negative things that we see at work, and we start putting it in a negative way. And then we start becoming bitter and bitter. And that whole reason why you started in your profession to begin with, it's gone, right? And so it's so important to focus on your why, and obviously we talk a lot about money, but that's kind of the whole point of this podcast. But guys, we want you to really think hard why you're doing this, why you're in the medical field, or why you're going through the crap day in and day out. Is it, like Kirk was saying, is it for that self-gratification? Is it for the adrenaline? Is it to make a lot of money? Is it to show off your money? How many people show off their money?
Well, yeah, and I was talking about once. My mentor actually said something pretty amazing to me. His name's Danny, and he said, Kirk, you got to understand this. A lot of people will use their health to chase wealth, but in the future, they then take their wealth to chase health. So that actually motivated me. I was about 285 pounds about 8 months ago, just because healthcare professionals actually, we eat like crap, we sleep like crap, we're always just stress. And so, I was a pretty big dude. But when Danny said to me, look, you're gonna use your health to chase wealth, and then in the future, have your wealth, chase your health. So you got to get in shape, right? You got to get your body, your physical good, your mind good, and then after that, once you have that wealth, well, these are the kind of things that are cool. Philanthropy, charitable donations. This is where you can give back to people and not feel that stress of every day and that COVID feeling where you're just burned out. And let's just talk about one of the things on finance of philanthropy. Do you guys think that all of the really rich people, we're talking Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, all these guys that are ultra wealthy, they donate millions of dollars, and even religious organizations, the Catholic organization, the LDS Church, all that, have people paying tithing and donations to the churches. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. They're not doing it just because they're wonderful people. they do it, one, because some of them believe that it's a dictate from God. Another ones do it because there's tax deduction capability for donations, philanthropy. The government allows you to deduct that money from your taxes, so your taxable income actually comes down, so you're paying less taxes. That's what it is. So on this trip as humanitarian, I mean, we're doing some amazing things. We're doing some paving,
Yep.
murals. We're doing some medical stuff. We did a health fair yesterday.
Yeah, we had a really cool health fair. We got to teach some of the local village. We're out here in this village. We've been here for about a week and a half. And we're here with some youth. And yesterday we had a really cool experience. We got to teach Stop the Bleed.
Yeah.
Right? We had a prop there. We had people put hands on the dummy, put the pressure on. We went over choking, basic, hands only CPR, focusing on compression rates, things like that. And then we even went into, junk food.
And dental hygiene. Yeah, for sure. One of the challenges that we saw that people were talking about is they'll give their kids money, and then these kids go out and just eat crap. So once again, they're having cavity issues, they're having gastrointestinal issues, they're having diarrhea issues, all these things, and even actually a little bit of obesity as well from all this snacking, all that. And so, yeah, those are kind of things we were talking about as well.
Yeah.
But our main focus was water, because that is the number one resource of the world. And matter of fact, one day I was actually sitting where we were eating lunch and saw this lady come down from one of the houses with a big old bag of just yuck and just dumped it in the river. I was first of all, I was appalled. I was like, what's going on here? And then she did it 3 times and just throwing stuff in there. So yesterday at our parental meeting, we actually had I actually had all the parents stand up, go to the window and look at the river and say, if water is so much of your resource, why is there trash down there? Why, and how much it affects us.
I think people need that slap in the face. Really. And I think a lot of us need that slap in the face too when it comes to what our treasures are. A lot of times we take things for granted. We all have clean water in the US.
Yeah.
We have clean water there. But we take a lot of other things for granted. What are your treasures? How are you holding on to your assets? Remember, assets put money into your pocket, liabilities take money out. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you doing at home to take care of those assets, right? Are you making them grow, or are you just putting them in the corner to sit, right? And, we're going to talk about investments, things like that. We're going to go into a lot of that in future episodes. But guys, we got to start with that foundation. Like we talked in previous episodes, please go back and check those out. You got to start with that foundation, protect that income, okay? Term life insurance, making sure that you have a solid emergency fund. If you're in debt, if you're drowning in credit card debt, or if that Gucci bag is so important, look at what you're missing out on. Look at the possibilities, right? And everyone has different value systems, right? So if that's you, then hey, more power to you. But again, it comes back to that why.
Well, and I look right now, so one of our in-country coordinator here, his name's Benad, and he has a group called Insight Himalaya, where he actually takes people on treks throughout the Himalayas. We're talking Everest Base Camp, the Lantan Plateau, Mount Kailash, and one of his main focuses, and that he actually brings into YouthLink actually, is it's called Waves for Water. And what it is, it's actually a program where we teach people about water filtration and how clean water they can actually have it. So actually part of the group actually will go into families' homes and set up a water filtration system. Actually, to me, that's the most impactful thing I can think of, is actually be able to have them taste that water that's actually filtered. And it does up to 1 million gallons of water if you actually clean it properly. Is that not an impact? I mean, dang. Does that make sense, or does that make dollars, guys? I mean, you think about the impact you want to make in people's lives, that's where it's at. So philanthropy, charitable donations, those are things that you can use to leverage yourself in your financial world to actually give back, to actually make an impact in someone's life. Find out your why. Find out what you want to be there for. And really, honestly, send us your why. We want to know. We want to know about your why.
Yeah,
and
put it in the comments. Yeah. Send us an email, medicalmoneycash@gmail.com. Send us your why.
We'd be more than happy to reach back out to you. And once again, if you want to actually have a financial blueprint done, we're here. We'll take care of it. We'll help you out. Send us the information again, once again, at the medicalmoneycash@gmail.com. Let us know what your why is. Let's help you get a plan together. And maybe you can actually in the future reach your goals and dreams and do your why. Once again, here we are in Nepal.
This is crazy.
It's amazing. We're,
Nuts. You know,
Mount Everest is right over there. Gee.
one other thing I wanted to talk about, Kirk, is, teaching the future.
Yeah.
We obviously want to give back. We want to give back to those. We want to do philanthropy. We want to travel the world, but we also want to. We gotta take care of what's coming up next. Being in with this group of youth has been phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. I have some younger kids. I have an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I'm terrified for them to become teenagers. I'm not gonna lie, because I remember when I was a teenager. Yikes.
Scary stuff.
Right? But being with these kids, guys, it is so cool being with such amazing youth. And being able to share your knowledge and your experiences with them, being able to talk with them, and really helping to raise the next generation to come through, whether in finances or medical or humanitarian work, whatever the case is.
Or whatever goal they're pursuing as well.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's totally amazing. So make sure that you guys are sharing your knowledge as well. You guys have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, right? A lot of wisdom because of the things that you've seen. Right? Make sure that we're passing that on to the next generation, okay? Either through kids, through youth groups, through church, whatever the case is, make sure that you're passing that on too, because that's going to be impactful too.
Guys, we're really glad to be here. It's an opportunity and a blessing for us to be here. Reach out there here to YouthLink and Justin and his crew in allowing these individuals and mentors like us, and also the humanitarians who fundraise and get donations. This is all a nonprofit organization, and they utilize these trips to make an impact. Also, know to reach out to Beno and his family and his group inside Himalaya. Thank you so much for taking us in and helping us learn ways for water and how you make an impact. It kind of gets you a little weepy, actually. I mean, wow. So once again, guys, I'm glad to be here, and I just say for us, namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. And we'll see you on the next podcast, guys. Thanks so much.
I'm looking for a man in finance. Trust fund. 6'5", blue eyes. Finance. Trust fund. 6'5". I'm looking for a man in finance. Trust fund.